Okay, so Colby Covington versus Ian Garry is definitely the fight to make. And I think Colby's making one of the best moves of his career right now because the fan base has turned on him. But he knows that the fan base has turned on Ian Garry much, much harder. And it's really there to see when you watch those live UFC walkouts. And all Ian's got is booze echoing through the arena as he goes around. And here's the thing with Ian Garry, whatever relationship dynamic you have with your wife, whoever lives with you, however you want to date someone, I've dated an older woman before. I get it. It happens. You know, I'm not hating on you for picking that. Now, is the How to Be a Wag book a joke? I don't know. You say that, so I guess I'm just going to have to take your word at face value because I don't know what she was thinking when she wrote that book. But the way he's handled the whole thing, how he backed out of a fight, he doesn't have comments on his Instagram. Yeah, it's very easy to tell that, yeah, there's a little bit of bother to how he's going with this. And it's, I would have rather had him just say, hey, this is my thing. Judge it as you will. It just kind of seems like they're handling it with a lot of deflection and just a lot of like lack of ownership on it. The amount of times they've kind of lashed out at the public, and to be honest, no matter what your relationship dynamic is, if someone's attacking my family, I'd probably get a little defensive too and say, hey, back off. I've even seen this one where a guy actually went up to Ian Garry and his wife in person and said it. And Ian Garry did do the right thing and said, how about you say that to her face right now? And you know what? That was all fair game. I'm going to give Ian credit where it's due. But he's obviously way more hated among the fan base than Colby Covington is. Now, maybe Colby Covington obviously has some things. I was so disappointed by his last fight with Leon Edwards. He dropped the ball. He did not pull the trigger. He didn't make the move. Leon was given that performance on a silver platter. Oh, excuse me. But you get the picture. But which is worse? Now, obviously, Colby needs to get a fight. Now, he does want to call out Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, but a lot of people are saying, hey, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is a little bit older. You're picking your fights now. You're picking the ones that are easier in the rankings. You're not fighting any of these new up-and-comers. And it's almost the same as like a Dustin Poirier type scenario where you believe that, it's like you're saying you want to stay active, but you're not fighting any of the new guys and up-and-comers. Dustin Poirier just beat Benoit Saint-Denis and completely crushed that criticism of him. Colby Covington has fought Champ, Masvidal, and then right to a immediate title shot, and hasn't really been putting in the time in the octagon. He hasn't really fought any of the guys up there. Not even Vicente Luque, I don't think he'd touch. But he ducked Bilal Muhammad. He certainly doesn't want to fight Shavkat, from what I can tell, until he signs his name on that contract. But to fight Ian Garry, the number 5 and the number 6, perfect spot. And also it could get Ian Garry into the top 5 too, because I'm not saying Colby's for sure going to win this fight, but the decisions I've kind of seen from Ian Garry, despite that Daniel Rodriguez first round finish, I kind of feel like sometimes Ian likes to pace himself a little too much, where Colby Covington is nothing but pace, and he's going to put some pressure on Ian. And it's just a matter of who shows up that night. Because there's been Ian Garry performances where he's really shown up, like Daniel Rodriguez, and completely putting people away. And there's ones like Neil Magny where he has stayed and waited and just milked the performance. And it's almost like to the point where it's like, I get you're showing off and this guy can't beat you for anything. But come on, you have to just finish this fight, dude. And maybe it is just for showboating purposes, but even with the Jeff Neal fight, you could tell that he kind of wasn't just dominating Jeff. Jeff had some answers in there. So obviously we're seeing the weaknesses in his game where he's coming up. And then Colby, there's a lot of performances where he's putting on the pressure and he's smothering his opponents. And it is brutal. He is wearing them down for 5 straight rounds. But then you have moments like Leon Edwards where he's too afraid to shoot for a takedown, or he's too afraid to throw all those punches or put all that pressure. It's like, so what if your foot might allegedly be broken? This is a world title that's on the line, and you could go to the hospital right after and pay the bill with the money you're getting from the purse. So it's the perfect mirror matchup. But it's 2 different kinds of people. 2 different types of relationship dynamics. Ian Garry's taking on a wife that Colby would never touch. Colby doesn't roll that style. So I guess there's a lot of political reasons, especially with the gigantic dating divide. So, in a sense, Colby's going from putting on the MAGA hat and playing politics to playing the MGTOW route and playing politics again. It's perfect. It all comes full circle. And you know what? I think everybody wins here, and we get to see a fight that we actually want to watch. And the question is, who gets booed worse? Ian Garry or Colby on their walkouts? I'd have to say Ian, because I think Colby still has some supporters. But I've just been watching all the hate that people are throwing Ian Garry's way. But I really do think Ian Garry should, let people comment on his Instagram again. Just because I'd rather have him just have all those comments up there and not respond and just keep training and prove the Dow is wrong than say it doesn't bother you and keep your Instagram shut down. But other than that, that's what I got. I want to see this fight.